Hi, I'm Pastor Kerrene, and welcome to today's Christian Woman. We're glad to have you with us this afternoon, and we have a very special guest with us. If you have watched Living Safe Ministries website, then you know our guest, the creator of Bible Rhymes, Mr.
Ken McArdell.
And yes, ladies, he's still single, so drop me an email because we've got to get this good-looking guy married. Ken, how are things going?
I don't even know where to go from that. Things are going well. I'm doing real well, and I appreciate you having me down here to share my new projects with you guys again.
I am delighted to see you again. As you know, you are my favorite author. I simply adore you myself. But tell me, what's going on with Bible? Let me tell them a little something. My nieces have this book. They are 4 years old. They absolutely love this. If I have to read this book one more time, I may have to kill you myself.
That's the only book you have?
Well, no, I have this one, but they love Noah.
All right then. It's all those bright colors and happy animals. And
I want to make it clear that this is a book that is absolutely so well made. The pages are phenomenal. It's none of those cheap, flimsy pages, but they're actually nice, thick pages that the kids cannot tear out of. But what they will love to do is read all about Noah and the ark and all those delicious little animals.
And rhyme and rhyme and rhyme.
That you do. And you don't just write the stories, you also do illustrations.
Now I've started doing, the first 3 books in our series were hardcover books, which were Creation, Noah and the Ark, and The Christmas Story. These were written by me and illustrated by a young lady named Antonella Kirko.
I don't see your face.
All right. Yeah, these are the first 3 books I've ever done. I had never dreamed of getting into authorship or illustrating or any of doing a Bible Rhymes type of thing was never what I would have foreseen myself doing. But because of the good Lord, He was knocking on my door or whispering in my ear, and I listened to Him and got into these Bible Rhymes. And through these first 3, again, Antonella Kirko was the illustrator for it. But then for book number 4 that we released, it's Bible Rhymes Zacchaeus. I had been going in an animated book direction. After doing these 3 hardcovers, we wanted to transfer each of the books we do into an animated online form. So where it's interactive, where people can point and click and watch the animals run around and do different things, hear sound effects, hear music. I do narrations for them. And if you have any of the more difficult words, you can click on those and a glossary opens up. It gives the dictionary definition, antonyms, synonyms, and a place in the scripture where you can find that particular part of the story. So we were doing the animated books, and through I guess looking for somebody that was familiar with the animating and illustrating so I could have it as a combined function. Instead, the process we used it was painted, and then we had to transfer everything into electronics, which makes it harder to do the animations for it. You basically really need to recreate the whole thing electronically, so each little part, each fingertip can be wiggled around or something like this. So I wanted to start creating it electronically, and I spoke to the illustrator from Rugrats. He's done the Rugrats series. He's did the Despicable Me movie. He worked on a lot of illustrating in there. He's done Marvel Comics. He's done a bunch of great stuff. Don Cassidy. He did Bible Rhymes Zacchaeus for us. That was a great story. I really liked the style of art he came up with for our Jesus in that story. And I don't know what got me interested, but I wanted to start drawing. So about a year and a half ago I started drawing, and now we've got, let's see if I'll be able to get the list correct. We just, for Christmas, I just re-released a Christmas book I had done.
Okay, that would be this one here?
We've got a Christmas book. The hardcover we've got the hardcover illustrated by Antonella Chirico. We've got an animated version that was with her artwork as well. And then I've got a Christmas book that I did. It was partially rewritten. All of the pictures are redone and done by me. So it's two separate styles between Antonella and myself. And then we've done that for the Noah and the Ark story as well. She's got a version of hers, and I've got one that was completely rewritten and all new art done by me. And so that's 4 books. Then we've got a creation hardcover by Antonella Chirico. And I'm about to, it's in the music man's hands now, so we've got to wrap up the audio for my narration, and he's got to get the music for each page. But we've got a creation book that I've done now. That will be the animated online version. And then, let's see, we released a Poor Widow. Now, right now, all the books and games on, not the hardcover, but the animated books and all of our games are free on BibleRhymes.com right now until I do a couple more tweaks and get it set up as a membership website.
And we don't want to cheat you out of the money that is rightfully due to you. So even if you go to the website right now and you play the games and you look at the animated books, the interactive programs that he has on there, please later on sign up for a membership. Don't be unfair to him. A lot of work goes into this. It costs Ken a lot of time, and you were up until how late?
Well, between 1 and 6 in the morning, I was on the phone with the hosting company that hosts our website, and we were going through tweaks. We've just gone through an upgrade on Bible Rhymes, and there's lots of tweaks and things that always have to be fixed to make it work smoothly for people. So
it does take a lot of effort and a lot of time, so please, and the rates are so reasonable. And rather than rushing out and buying your child something that is not as quality as this is, and believe me, this is high quality. Just before we started filming, and I go to the site just about every day, but I was on my little tablet, and I was, for lack of a better word, I was having a blast playing with the books, and it's just fantastic watching the eyes go for greed and all kinds of things. It's really quality work that Ken has put out here. You said that you didn't intend to be in Bible Rhymes, and you are the creator and founder of this. What did you do before?
Well, I graduated from Oakland University. I'm a finance major. And after that, like during the end of my schooling career, I was between working as a financial analyst for Comerica in their purchasing department, doing a lot of just sitting behind a desk looking at numbers, and I guess that's what a finance major is supposed to do, but it wasn't burning my flame or whatever, however you want to term that. I wasn't too excited by the prospect of sitting and doing that for another 20, 30 years or something like that.
But the money's really good.
Money is good, but money's not that doesn't excite me too much either. I mean, a lot of people have a lot of money and aren't very happy people. I wanted something to make me, a lot of times you'll hear when you're young, you got to find something that you love to do. And how many people actually get to do a job they love? I figured I might have to sit in a cubicle for another lot of years and do something and just have to get it done so I could earn my paycheck and provide for a family or whatever. But through the adventure or journey the Lord took me on, I got into the Bible Rhymes, and we'll talk about the journey in a second, but the important thing is that God led me, not where I was expecting to go, but I tried to keep my ear open and following the direction, and now I'm doing something. Again, I hadn't illustrated since a class in junior high that you were required to take. So I never dreamed of doing anything like that. But I love being able to mess around and build these animated books and get Noah doing, I mean, for the Noah and the Ark book that I just, our latest version of the Noah and the Ark, I mean, you've got things like where you can click on a giraffe and Noah jumps up on the giraffe and slides down its neck and you just, it's fun. I have fun doing what I'm doing.
I had to stop before I got to that page. Thanks for spoiling that for me.
Well, we will, I mean, I could even change that when I go home tonight, and it'll be a completely different picture with different sound effects. And
could you just do that for me, because they haven't seen it?
That's it's another one of the things that I enjoy about these animated books is last Christmas I released the first book I ever illustrated was The Christmas Story. Released that last year. This year's version is a lot of the pictures are changed. Like, as I develop my skills, I can go back any day of the week and change any picture or any sound effect, anything in these books, and I can manipulate them and have fun with them at any time. And
it is a lot of fun. It really is a lot of fun. You've done a great job with it. I loved seeing God's hand come down and drop Noah on the earth, and he just kind of bounced up there, and that was, I can imagine how my little nieces are going to love that. And as I was telling you, I'll just be glad that I don't have to read the book over and over again to them, because
it's so mean of you to say.
I love the book. I do love it, and I love my nieces, but enough's enough. But they can actually, and they're still learning something from this.
Well, you needed me to be able to start working faster so we could develop more books, so at least you would get a variety of what you're reading.
Yes. You have to get on that right away.
The spice of life. Well, as I said, I was going through my list trying to recall all the books that we produced, and The Poor Widow I was speaking of, the good Reverend was reading that before we came on, and she clicked on this one page and got to see a guy got it all excited about gold, and just a couple of the animations, a couple of the little clickables in the book she really enjoyed.
Yes.
In that book, The Poor Widow again, I started doing it. I wasn't even thinking about doing this story. A girl I met at Vacation Bible School last summer, she was, I believe it was middle school, unemployed, and her parents weren't supportive of Christianity or her pursuit of the knowledge. And so she couldn't afford a Bible Rhymes membership. And when I finally do turn the membership portion of the site back on, I'm only it'll probably be for at least another year. I'm keeping the price at $15 for everything, for hundreds of games you can play, pretty much anything you need to learn for Sunday school, if you're a Sunday school teacher or whatever. One of my brothers, he does Sunday school at his church, and he says before I go, every time I go to Bible Rhymes to see if you guys have something that I can take to the kids.
You're going to do church memberships as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going to set different pricing. So it's $15 for a family. Depending on the actual program that I end up using, it'll probably be for 4 people at a family. We'll be able to, and they'll be able to develop 4 different screen names. So we got the high scores for the different games, so people can compete with each other and have a little fun. But I was. When I spoke to the girl, her parents weren't supporting this, so I decided I'd give a book for free to everybody. So the whole website's for free right now, just because I haven't done my last tinkering. But even after we put up the membership portion, the Poor Widow book will be for free forever, because that's what Christians are supposed to like. If I'm going to be a Christian, I really believe in this stuff. That's why I started doing the Bible Rhymes, and I think the world will be better off if everyone reads Bible Rhymes. So I'll try to put myself in a position where we can keep giving away as much as possible.
Most Americans will understand the Bible Rhymes. They're written on the kind of level that even if a child has never read the Bible or the parents haven't read the Bible, they can pick up on it really quick. Have you, and I know you go around to several different schools reading the stories and talking to the kids, are they all Americans? Or have you noticed in your audience?
I mean,
maybe
I
shouldn't
haven't
say,
gone to read
maybe,
in China.
no, well, maybe I should rephrase that. Well, we have Mexican Americans, we have African Americans, we have Arabic Americans. So not everyone is a Christian where you go to read. I am assuming. Is that true?
I mean, I suppose that each of the Christian schools, typically I go to some sort of, whether it's a Catholic or Christian school.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one school I'm thinking about, and I get my thoughts rolling, and I don't really know each of the kids' backgrounds, so I don't know if they're raised in a Christian fashion or not. I know at one of the schools I go down to in Warren, a lot of the kids that go there actually have, their parents don't give them any background for it. And I don't know if they're offering grants to some of the local students or whatever, but apparently some of the kids at this school, they don't have a different background except for the school. So I guess there's all kinds of people. I mean, I've had a Jewish girl read the Christmas story, and that's how she learned about Jesus, and she was in her 20s. So,
okay.
I mean, they're good for everybody. Whether you're involved with the church or not, you can learn the story and understand. Whether you're a Christian or not, you can understand where people, how Christian people look at the stories and our perspective of things.
How great of an influence do you think Bible Rhymes has been in society or in what you're doing? Do you think it's been a big influence for those that are not Christians?
Has Bible
or not
Rhymes
raised in a Christian home?
I would say, I mean, a book in and of itself isn't going to do much for anybody's pursuit of. That's probably not a good thing to say. No, buy Bible Rhymes and you will be saved. You will see everything differently. And no, realistically, yeah, I think there's a whole lot more to it than just reading one book. I think you have to have it's good to have your home support system if you're family, or you surround yourself with the friends, or if you go to a church or whatever. It's the whole system. No one thing is gonna, I don't believe, it's gonna change anybody's life that significantly. You need Ken doing his Bible Rhymes, you need Reverend Covington doing her shows and everything. We all have to outreach and work together as a team.
Okay, I asked you this for a very good reason. I was up extremely late, maybe about 2 o'clock, and I was playing a game on my little tablet. And in the course of that, I went to go to another game, and a Google ad appeared on the tablet. And it actually said, Islamic Bible Rhymes, because we're Islamic and we're proud. Were you aware of this?
I didn't know it. Like, is the Quran a Bible now, or how does this work? I'm not quite sure what Islamic Bible Rhyme would be.
From my understanding, I don't know either, but from my understanding is there were some Arabic kids that had started reading Bible Rhymes, and they were quite upset that they weren't following the Muslim way of thought, so they created Islamic rhymes for kids.
I'm interested in hearing them personally. But
like I said, it was a nice size ad there, one of the Google ads, and
so are all the rhymes in Arabic or how or whatever? I don't particularly know all the language.
I went to click it, and it was in English, but it was a definite spin into the Quran rather than the Bible.
So now, are those, now you asked me if the Bible
well,
rhymes
I'm just
says,
letting you know
I have competition? I have
no,
competition? Is that what you're
not the competition so much, because you're coming directly from Scripture, and there is no competition in the Word of God, but I wanted you to see the sphere of influence that these books are actually having. Because here's a group of, and obviously it's not just one Muslim child that was looking at this, but it had to be a great deal for them to say, hey, wait a minute, this guy is teaching our kids Christian stuff we've got some pretty good tales too. And they're developing their own series of books.
Well, probably, I mean, many of the people, you live your life, you go around and do what you do. A lot of people don't really look in the rearview mirror or have that much time to think about it. I don't really spend enough time really contemplating on how, I want to have a good effect on people. Mm-hmm. Am I paying enough attention to all the effects I'm having on people? I hope that it's, I hope I push people in the direction of Bible rhymes, but every one of us, I mean, constantly, every day when we do stuff, hopefully we're setting the right example. You on your last guest was talking about the examples that parents need to set for kids or teachers or whatever. Mm-hmm. We have to give the kids a good, strong foundation and provide good influences, and hopefully the Bible rhymes will do that. Hopefully that will happen.
What do you think is the most attractive feature about Bible rhymes? I mean, I enjoy the website immensely, but there's still some people that don't have computers. Welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, who doesn't have?
Yeah. But they say they don't.
I don't believe such things, but. Well, if you don't have computers, you can buy up the hardcover books, but you should really save your pennies and get a computer, because these online books and the games are very fun.
They really are. They're absolutely awesome. Are you going to do a pop-up?
We'll try to leave those alone.
Okay.
I mean, really, the age level you'd have to go down to, the pop-up books, you have typically, I think, maybe 5 words on a page or something like that. So
Very
I don't
good point.
know how you'd get into
Very good point.
any kind of theological book with.
And as I've told you before, I have teenagers that absolutely love this.
But, so what is the best thing about it?
Yeah.
For me, the rhyming. I love the art and whatever. Every good story needs good pictures. I don't know. I'm a grown man and I still love picture books, I guess. That's a little strange maybe, but I think the rhyming makes them very accessible for people. Like, I was out at catechism last week, and I was reading to the class, and we were reading the creation story, and towards the end of the book, I let some of the kids read some of the pages, and on page number 5 or whatever, the kid got confused because it didn't start out, his portion didn't say page number 5. He told me, he's sitting there on pause looking at it, he said, it doesn't say page number 5. I was like, well, this is what it says, and then I just rhymed it all out for him. And that's how I was doing the whole book. I just had taken one book to class and let a kid walk around and show everybody the pictures, and I was rhyming it while I was doing it. And they were all surprised that I remembered the rhyme. And now, granted, I've read the book 4,000 times, or
Yeah, kind of like me in Noah's Ark.
So you should be able to rhyme it very well without even looking at the page. But because of the rhyme, the way it's told in rhyme, it's easy to remember, I think, and kids can bite onto it a lot easier. That's why there's a variety of reasons why Bible rhymes began, but one of the things is I was up one night in prayer and reading the Bible. I was having issues with a woman in my life, and so I was like, oh, I need to talk to the Lord. So I was reading my Bible and reading the Bible, and it was this guy begat that guy, and this guy begat that guy, and it was just on and droning, and nothing I wanted to read, nothing I was getting anything out of. For me personally, spiritually, I don't know how much I grew that night reading about this guy begatting that one. And I wondered how many other people. I was raised in the church from, I went to elementary church school and a private school for a year of high school, and I was raised with this, so one way or another, I'm going to, my faith is kind of with me, and I'll make it through even these begat lines. But for anybody else that wasn't raised in a Christian fashion or whatever, how many people would actually want to read, and that was I read the old King James Version, but how many people actually want to get into reading these stories that, I mean, they're kind of hard to understand. If you read,
Sure.
At least with the old King James, the verbiage isn't that simple for some people, and the stories I mean, the Zacchaeus story, or a variety of them. We've done Paul and Silas and the Galilee storm and Reap What You Sow. And you might have to, if you wanted to find that story, come up with a short story with meaning, you might be scouring around the Bible for a while. And then for us, we can put out, I think Reap What You Sow was a 10-page. One of the books, the Poor Widow story that I was just showing you, that's only 6 pages long. But in 6 pages, it tells a lot. Jesus gives the warning about the teachers trying to take money from a poor lady, and
I love the way their eyes shift.
Looking over, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
But with a 6-page rhyme, you can tell a story that is meaningful, easy to remember, and it's not hard to. You don't have to scour through the whole Bible to get it. You just go to BibleRhymes.com, look for the free online books, and boom.
There you have it. And you do use, every one of your rhymes are definitely scriptural. They follow. And no, he is not mispronouncing Zacchaeus. It's Zacchaeus is the correct pronunciation of that. So you see, you learn something new every day, and you can learn it right there on Bible Rhymes because you're doing narrations on there, and there's great music to go with it. So you're never bored with the interactive things. I like the games too.
Yeah, well, the games are wonderful, and they've occupied quite a lot of people. Have, spent way too long playing those games.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, I've had fun with the website. I've had fun learning to draw over the last year and learning to do the animations and writing the rhymes. All this stuff is new to me. So I'm having fun with it, and hopefully it will impact the world the way I imagine.
Well, obviously you're already doing that because you have a group of people who've decided, wait a minute, this guy is going to teach them Christian Bible stuff, and it's not fair. And yeah, how do you feel about that kind of thought pattern?
What, the Islamic?
Yes.
People, however they were raised, it is what it is. Parents, from my understanding, I don't have a perfect understanding of Islam or the Quran. I can speak about things I've read about it. It seems, as far as my understanding goes, is the prophet, for us, Jesus, was never violent. He just loved people. That's my whole thing. Love your neighbor. One of the, what was it? You might know the verse. It's maybe 2 Corinthians or something like this, where the whole word can be fulfilled in, what was it? The whole law can be fulfilled in one word, even in this. Love thy neighbor, thou shalt love thy neighbor, and that's basically, the simplified version is love people, love other people, love other people. And that's for me, perfection, love. If everyone was like that, the world would be perfect. Now, if you look at, as far as my understanding for the Quran, their prophet killed a lot of people and got people to follow him because he killed a lot of people. And he had the biggest sword, so everybody followed him. And if you have to use might to get people to, strength and violence to get people to follow you, I don't think, that's not a true freedom you're not following by freedom, you're following by terror or something like that. Again, Jesus was all about love and this and that. So, but I'm not gonna, I wasn't raised Muslim, and I don't know how their parents are raising those. They can worry about whether they can clean the motes out of their eye. I'll keep working on my eye, try to perfect myself. And if I perfect myself and I keep, which obviously I can never be perfect, but if I get myself, keep working as hard as I can every day to make myself good, then I show my faith through an example of how I behave. And instead of, there's a lot of people that can go preach or talk a good game and tell you how to behave, but they can also go and do a lot of bad things afterwards.
Sure.
And so that's, I think, the key is try to make myself good, try to be a good example, and keep working every day and show my faith through doing good things and being good to other people and loving other people. And that's all I can do in this world, you know, be as good of effect as I can.
Well, you're having quite an impact on society, or the society that you're involved in. I am looking at the creation. I want to make sure that everyone sees this, that some animation that you have here. When we look at creation and we start thinking of the worlds being created, all the planets and everything, and you can see that the illustrations are absolutely astounding, from the teddy bear on the bed to the sun rising up, or to God's hand actually putting it up there in the air. You can't help but be impressed by what's being done. And it carries on through every book that you do. Now, in the process of doing this, do you get anything out of it, emotionally, spiritually? I mean, obviously these are stories that you already know. So,
well, like Zacchaeus. Now, this might, I guess I'll be honest and I'll put myself in a bad light, possibly. When I started doing the Zacchaeus story, it was, I don't know, when I first started writing that. A girl I knew had been out babysitting, and she read, I had been working on the hardcovers, and we were looking for more stories to start getting into. And she said she had read a Zacchaeus story to a boy she was babysitting. And I asked her, I was like, Zacharias? I didn't know who Zacchaeus was a couple of years ago. Like a lot of young Christian people can sing the Zacchaeus song about, are you familiar with that?
Sure.
I mean, I can't sing it because I had never heard it before. So I don't know how I missed that out, but yeah, so like the Zacchaeus story is something within the last couple of years I read it and I liked it, and I mean, the fact of him coming in, and again, I think Zacchaeus is an 8-page. We have an 8-page version of that.
okay.
And in just 8 pages, you can see that Jesus had such an effect on this guy that he's willing to start paying attention to poor people and saying, you know what, I don't need all this gold, we'll take care of other people. So yeah, I mean, just with that story, I learned something there. And we've got, again, the reap what you sow is a lot of these stories, if you open the Bible, and even if you've read the whole thing, each time you open it, you can look at something in a different light and think about things in a different fashion. So, like reading the reap what you sow in the Galilee storm, do you lose faith when times get tough? And so it just kind of sinks in that lesson again. Oh yeah, I'm never supposed to lose faith no matter what. And I mean, you've got the disciples who, within feet of Jesus, they lost faith. So maybe we can not wrap our knuckles so hard when we mess up, because Jesus is a lot farther away than 5 feet. Well, I mean, he's right here at the table with us if
Right.
we're opening our eyes and paying attention. But yeah, so each of these stories helps me look at the original lesson and what that story is trying to tell us and whatever. So it's affecting me as well.
Okay, well, it obviously shows, because each book that you do gets better and better. So obviously, as you're writing, it's almost like sensing the Holy Spirit just saying, no, Ken, do it this way. And
Well,
I think that comes through in your writing.
I definitely don't, when I get down to, even when I'm doing narrations and I go get in front of the little spit guard or whatever on my microphone, I say a little quick prayer to, like, the stories. There's a million careers I could pick. There's a million ways to make money in the world. You know, Bible rhymes. It's not for my purpose. It's for the Lord. So I tell them, if you want me to do a good job, if you want people to enjoy it, then let me do the right voices or whatever. Like, he's got to make the story good. It's his story. It's not mine. So, I just want to do as well as I can for him. So, so we keep, the rhyming from the very beginning, from the creation, when I first started doing these, people didn't think I was very skillful. And I guess looking back at some of those rhymes, I would have to agree. But nowadays, the stories, I understand how to write them better. And like with this David and Goliath, I've actually changed my pattern completely over the last month. I'm doing it differently than I ever have done any of the other books. And maybe it's because I'm just getting bored, but I'm going through each of the pages, and instead of just writing a whole story, and then lining, that's what I've done with the other books, is I wrote the whole poem, and then I started doing all the pictures. Now I've been going page by page just because I felt like drawing a new picture, and okay, here's page 1 rhyme, and then I go to page 2 and make sure that rhyme flows smoothly and the picture flows smoothly. So I don't know if I'm changing my whole process or if I just got bored and I needed a change of pace or what, but it seems like the pattern, I'm developing the skills, whether it's the rhyming or the illustrating, which is what I'm having so much fun with nowadays. So
I can imagine. It's not easy to take the scriptures and to make it into a rhyme, especially a rhyme that's so memorable. Is it hard for you to do it?
Not anymore, I don't think. I think I've written so many now that I think it flows better. And again, if the Lord's turning on my brain and making it, that's the key. If I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, then I can write a lot better. And if I'm just sitting there not paying attention or whatever, then it might be more difficult. But yeah, it's going smooth now. It's going smooth.
Just off the top of your head, what would you do with Jonah?
Jonah, I already got the story written. It's a 28-page story.
Oh, okay.
I've got one of my friends, she had a little baby, and she named him Jonah. So I was told that I needed to write a Jonah book, and so I took care of that mission. Now I've just got to do the illustrations. I've got, we've got 10 books. It'll be 11 with the David and Goliath that'll be all said and done. I've got written Samson, Jonah. We've got a few of the Moses ones, whether it's the burning bush or him going up to get the tablet. I don't know if that one went into the same story where he followed the pillar of cloud, or what is it, pillar of smoke and pillar of fire through the desert.
Okay.
Is that
You've
the
got
correct?
The cloud, you've got the fire.
Yep,
Sure.
We've done one story. That might have been combined with the tablet where he goes up onto the mountain, though. We've got Joshua going. We've got both the Jericho story, and we've got Caleb and the spies, and we've got, countless. I've written a lot of Bible rhymes. Now, a lot of them will need to be edited now that I've developed my skill more and more, but I've got a lot of stories written, and now it's just drawing and drawing and drawing and drawing. And I've got, again, Don Cassidy is the illustrator from the Rugrats that did Bible Rhymes Zacchaeus for us. I've got to make a phone call to him. He had actually requested to do the David and Goliath story, but I had already gotten into that a little bit, so I think I'm going to put him, I believe I'm going to have him get into the prodigal son.
I'm looking at this big-time illustrator. He comes to you and say, I want to do one of your books. I want to do a Bible rhyme.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I'm pretty proud.
You should be. That's astounding.
For a small-time guy like me that came from nowhere, to be able to work with the Rugrats illustrator brought legitimacy to Bible rhymes, I would think. And it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. And it's his, it was both because he's a Christian guy and he really believes in what we're doing, and he wanted to be a part of it. And so, I was excited. And it gave me, it's all part of God's plan again. With him developing the Jesus, I don't know if it was just working with him for a little while, a couple months while we were working on that book, inspired me to want to learn to draw myself. And so now Bible Rhymes, we've increased our book because as great as Don is, he was a little bit slow. So, I mean, he had a lot of things come up sometimes and get you distracted. And the Zacchaeus book took a little longer than I had hoped. Mm-hmm. He's still on core for on the boat to get another one done for us, but maybe it was his slowness between that and his great artwork that inspired me to draw. And so now, with me doing the drawing, we'll be able to produce, again, I've got 4 up the sleeve with Galilee Storm, Creation, David and Goliath, and Reap What You Sow. Those are all waiting. Well, I've got 6 pages left to draw for David, but all the other artwork's done and animations are done, so now it's just waiting on Music Man to do his portion. And I'll be able to produce, what do we have, 11 months to go? Mm-hmm. I'll be able to get a lot of books. I should, 5 to 10 depends. If I do one of those 8-page books, that's a lot different than a 28-page book. So, sure. But I'll be able to get a lot more done this year. So Bible Rhymes will grow exponentially, and hopefully over the next couple of years. There's every story in the Bible. If I had it my way, I'd have the whole book done in rhyme. So it might take me a couple of years to get it done, but.
Probably a lot longer than just a couple.
Well, if things are successful enough, if people like Bible Rhymes enough, and tell your children's pastor about it, and invite me to come read at your school, and help just spread the word and stuff like this, then I'll be able to get Mr. Cassidy doing more books. And I've got my sister's actually, she was working with another guy who did Marvel Comics as well, out in Oregon. So, there's, if things go properly, I'll have a few of these high-quality artists that people actually, who knows who Ken McArdell is? He just started drawing a year ago. But all these other guys, when I get them on board too, we'll be able to grow a lot quicker. So, little by little. As far as the website, excuse me, until this weekend, when I do the final tinkering, I just want to reiterate that everything's free right now, but pretty soon it won't be. And there's a couple, I think, on all the animated books, there's buttons on the side where you can click next or back or whatever. You saw those.
Yes.
And one of the buttons takes you to the non-narrated version if you don't want to hear me reading the whole time. And let's see, the last button takes you to the instruction page. Mm-hmm. Now, currently, on The Poor Widow, the free version of that book, those buttons work correctly. On all the other books, those 2 buttons for the muted and the instructions don't work properly. So there's little tinkering I'm going to do on the website over the next few days. But by this weekend, hopefully, by this weekend, everything will be secured, and we'll have you have to buy your membership or whatever.
Well, I'm definitely going to buy. In the meantime, I'm just going to have fun playing with the games, but I'm going to buy it anyway, just for the kids.
And we're always open. You want to send emails or requests, you can give me a call, obviously, but people can give requests to do different stories, just like with The Poor Widow. There might be a story that you're about to cover in Sunday school or just is a very meaningful one to you. I'm happy, if people throw out story ideas, it's more fun to work that way. It gives me a project. I'm trying to do it for somebody and make a particular person smile. So it gives me a little inspiration or whatever.
Other than Jonah, how many ideals have you gotten from individuals?
I'd have to go look through a lot of people have thrown out names of stories, and the Jonah was particularly sticks out in my head because of her son, and The Poor Widow from that girl. let's see, again, Zacchaeus, I wouldn't have just picked that out myself. Trying to remember how I came up with like reap what you sow. Some of the stories, and very possibly reap what you sow, I just open up the Bible and flip through something, and if something caught my attention, that's what I'd start writing on. I think that's how Galilee Storm came about, and I don't quite. I have to put it on. I don't remember where Paul and Silas what got me to start writing that one. But
have you done Samson yet?
Yeah, I've got that written.
Okay.
I just gotta start working on the illustrations, and that's gonna be one. I'll have fun doing that story.
Can you list him as being the dumbest man on earth?
We will say it in a nice way. I mean, he was a judge for 20 years, correct?
And yet he didn't have enough sense. To me, if someone keeps saying, "Wake up, dear, the Philistines upon you," and the exact thing that I said would cause me to lose strength, I wouldn't trust that individual.
No.
But, you know, he kind of did.
Now, you said before that these books are scripturally accurate. And for the most part, they are. I don't make up different stories or throw in different characters that didn't belong there. But, for example, with the Noah story, not everything Samson, starting to get distracted, need to drink more coffee. For the Samson story, not everything he did was put in our books.
No, of course not.
Not
it would take a lot more pages.
There are just some inappropriate activities maybe that little kids don't need to be hearing about.
No. You can make that for the adults.
Yeah, so maybe we'll have an adult version one day, but we try. I mean, some of the things we'll clean up, and that's why I really haven't approached the. I've been hassled a lot for why don't I have an Easter story yet, and until we developed the correct Jesus that Don drew for me, I didn't really want to get into any more of the New Testament stories. I didn't want to have a Jesus that in a couple years I'm going to have to remodel my Jesus, you know what I mean? But Don developed them so well. Now I'm ready to go get into the Easter story, but I have to figure out, like, I don't want the blood and guts version of it.
So no Passion of the Christ kind of stuff.
No, I don't want to scare kids or have kids all get disappointed in the disciples that they let that happen to Jesus or whatever. So we'll have to try to figure out how to tell that story in a meaningful, in an accurate but acceptable fashion. So I think I'm going to start working on that this year, but I don't know if it'll be for 2013's Easter or if it'll be till 2014 before I'm all set with that one.
So with every book that you write, you consider how a child would react to what's being said?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, 100%. We want to, I want to make sure that we're affecting, what I'm doing is affecting the kids properly, and like it's going to be meaningful to them, and have them look at the story or pick out the same type of things from the stories that I did. Like, what does reap what you sow mean? And in the Galilee storm, what are they supposed to really get out of it? Do you just get out of it that Jesus saved them from a boat crash, or do you present the faith type of thing where you just need to have faith? Like, I gotta tell the story and end it all in the way that the kids learn the lesson that I learned. And hopefully all the pastors agree that that's the lesson that they learned too. So we're all on the same page and sharing the same type of...
Do you think that the Bible stories have to be modernized for today's child?
Well, I mean, that's what we're doing, is with the rhymes and stuff like that, we're just taking them and putting them into a more malleable or a more edible form. So it is meaningful to kids nowadays. Do you want to change, like, Christianity? Does it have to get changed so it's cooler to fit in today? Like, the stories from thousands of years ago are still meaningful today, and in another 1,000 years, it'll be meaningful in the exact same way. was it Martin Luther King Day the other day, right?
Right.
And for the I Had a Dream speech, I'll mess up the line now that I'm trying to remember it, but it was basically, he said, now is the time to give justice to all of God's children. That's, I mean, again, I messed up the quote, but that
You
was,
get the idea.
it was what, 50 years ago, 48 years ago was that speech? And it's just as meaningful
Sure.
it's just as meaningful today. So, like, the value, the story, the moral that you get out of these stories are always going to be, it's going to be the same thing even in another 1,000 years. Probably people are going to have to keep adapting to whatever technologies come out in another 100 years or whatever. Yeah, you're going to have to you're going to have to make the Bible meaningful and turn it into a presentable format that people understand.
And we are a very visual society, and you have done a very good job in keeping that visual alive. Obviously, in playing with this book, that's because I'm going to ask you to do something that you've never done for me before.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Read.
Uh-oh.
And you get to make all the little different sounds.
In the beginning, God, where do we start here?
I'll just haphazardly turn the page. Da-da-da-da. Okay. No, those don't make any noise. Oh, there you go.
I don't do monkey sound effects and whatnot, but
You have to make the sound. Just pretend I'm a little kid there and go for it.
on day number 7, God stood in awe, feeling so happy with all that he saw. Creation still raw, God took a rest. This day was the Sabbath, he said it was blessed. With birds in their nests, and puppies and apes, 1,000-foot mountains and vineyards of grapes, God shaped our world and made it so nice. He didn't have help or any advice.
Very nice. I want to hear the monkey sound.
The world has no price. It's the Lord's own creation. With love for mankind, his divine motivation. A nation of angels was waiting for man, is waiting for man. The earth and its people, part of God's plan. In the span of creation from day 1 through 6, God made so much, a fabulous mix. But this was the Sabbath, the day to just pray. And day number 7, creation's last day. So that's a little, you got the last page of creation.
Thank you. Now
Now the monkey sound effects.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I'm not paid enough to do that type of.
We can skip the monkey. Do a giraffe. No, you can do a puppy.
No, come on now. I have self-respect, okay? Now, if you get me behind the screen and I'm in my little music studio, then you might hear me doing, now the voices for the Paul and Silas story. Mm-hmm. Let's see, is it that? Yep, it's the Paul and Silas story on page number 2. What happens after they're going and preaching? They get beat up by the crowd, right? Mm-hmm. You will appreciate the sound effects and the voices on that page. All the voices were done by me. I'm responsible, and I think it will entertain you.
I definitely have to listen to that because I'm very curious now as to how that's going to be.
Well, I'm gonna look forward to hearing your response about all the animated books, all the new books that we've released. Between the Paul and Silas, you haven't seen that one before. The Noah and the Ark that I've done, you haven't seen. Let's see, there was another short one that you haven't seen that I did. But you go check out the site, go play around. You can see all my illustrations, and I love to hear what you think.
I will definitely do that because I really enjoyed what I was doing then, and I've enjoyed it at home. Using a touch screen, that's so awesome to do it that way with clicking on the mouse. It's nice. I like it. But not as much as the touch screen, just simply
it's
because
a lot more simplified and fun and
it
feels hands-on.
Exactly. And I do love the way that you hear the pages turning. Maybe it's because I'm basically a hardbound copy book reader.
You're just used to hearing the page
and I'm used to
flipping
hearing those pages go, and you have it on in the interactive programs, you have the pages turning, and
we wanted to make it feel like a real book, as real as you can get without having it in your hands. But again, a lot more affordable version, since $15 will get you, for a family, it'll get you everything that we produce. Again, maybe I'm not the best businessman. Maybe I should be charging $29.99 a year or something like this. But I mean, I can stack up all the gold in the world, and I'm not going to take it with me when I leave. So I'd rather just leave my mark on the world by giving a great product. That's what I'm hoping for.
How long? The memberships are renewable?
Good for a year. Yep.
Every year. And you keep track of when it's due, and this gives you unlimited access to the site and all of its programs, correct?
Well, I don't keep track of anything. That's what computers are for. But yes, the membership...
They will automatically tell you when your membership is expiring.
Yeah. Again, I've changed it since I've changed to the new website. I don't have the new membership system set up. But yes, it should be, I would guess it will be an automatic renewing or whatever, and you can cancel if you want to cancel. Or
I don't see why anyone would want to cancel it. I mean, this is something
even when
that
their kids grow up, then the adults sit there and read it all, right?
Well, if not read, they're definitely going to play the games, because those things are fun.
I like, and we're gonna keep working and developing more. I actually had some people last year, they wanted me to do animations for them for games that they were building. And I drew a little ant for them, but I'll broaden, I wanna get a whole lot more games. I wanna have like role-playing type of games with Noah the Ark and whatever. Kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons type of, or Mario Brothers. I don't know how to compare, but where people go on, where Noah's got to go and collect all the animals and this and that and get them onto the boat for a ride. So there's a lot of things I want to accomplish, and we'll just keep walking along, and step by step we'll get it done.
Now, a lot of kids, a lot of adults have game systems, the PS3 or the Xbox 360. Have you ever thought about doing a Bible rhymes for one of those systems, even the Wii?
I mean, that's steps down the road.
Okay, but it is something that you've thought about?
I mean, I've thought about I want to have Bible rhymes movies. I want to have a Bible rhymes store at the mall, so you can come in and get all our little action figures from each of the...
Yeah,
but it'll take a couple of years to put that. I mean, Walt Disney didn't grow overnight.
Neither did VeggieTales, so I can certainly see something like that in the future for Bible rhymes, including the little action figures, the stuffed toys, and all of that. I mean, that's got to be fun.
It'll be great. I can foresee a lot of great things. And again, I mean, if you look at it all from the business perspective, there's tons of money to be made from these stories. But if I make a ton of money, like I was telling, I don't like talking about charitable type of stuff I do, but I will this time.
Thank you. I don't have to pry it out of you.
I took some gifts down to adopted families for Christmas. And this one girl, it was down at like 12 Mile and Gratiot or whatever as I went. And she said, I took a bunch of stuff and I let her give a bunch of gifts to her neighbors and whatnot. Like I had extras that didn't fit her kids, and she wanted to be the Santa Claus. And so I just gave them away. And she's asking me, how do I repay you? What can I do for you? I was like, tell people about Bible rhymes. It's like the more money I can make this year, the more gifts I can buy next year, and more kids. And like, again, I don't need much in life. I don't ask for gifts at Christmas or anything. My brothers and sisters, if they want to give me something, I tell them, give me an extra $50 or something so I can go buy more gifts for an adopted family. Like, stuff doesn't make me happy. Seeing people smile and being a good person. That's what I want to do.
That's all he wants. That, and I'm still working on getting that wife for you.
But then she'll make me make a lot of money so I can get her nice stuff, diamonds and whatnot. Oh, man.
She'll be simple, easy to please.
If you believe
maybe
that.
not. Maybe not, but
if you believe that. Okay.
Close enough. But your parents, obviously you didn't follow the career path that they thought that you were going to do. Are they happy with what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, I got way off when you asked me about my career before, yeah. Yeah, my mom is very surprised. Like, everyone that knows me is very surprised that this is the career I picked.
Really? Why?
Because I wasn't always an angel boy growing up. I wasn't, I guess I blame my parents. It's all their fault. I love my parents. They're good people. I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and like people always say the youngest is spoiled, and I say the youngest is just forgotten, and he's allowed to go and do whatever. And the parents are a lot more laid off, I think.
You may have a point, because somewhere down the line, it's like the first child, if something failed, you disinfect that and give it back to the child. By the third child, it's just pick that thing up and stick it back in.
Eat off the floor, whatever you got to do. Just stay out of my business. I'm trying to take a nap.
Exactly. So you may have a good point on that, but your mom is proud.
Yeah, my parents are both proud. My dad actually was hassling me the other day because he wants to come over and spend a good day to sit and look through all the books and look through all this and that. So see the animated stuff I'm doing and see the games and whatever. So they're interested in it. My brother, now I blamed him, I guess I will say blamed, for a couple of the animated books that are online right now.
Really?
He's the one in the family with the English degree. So he's done the editing for me and put the commas in the proper places and stuff. Some of the new books, I include his name as the editor. But I haven't actually given him a chance to edit the material yet, even though I put it online. So commas might be in the wrong place in a couple of spots, so we'll get him up and on it.
You think he'll want his name associated with it?
Well, he doesn't have much. It's already in the book. What are you going to do? But
That'll be one of the tweaks that you have to correct.
Yeah, little by little. But he gets the blame, not me. So I don't know where the commas go. It's not my fault. But he's helping out. All my sisters and brothers are really into it. So
how many do you have? How many
4
brothers?
Two brothers, 2 sisters.
Okay, so you're the one that you wouldn't have the choice. You kind of threw off the balance. Who did you side with most, the boys or the girls?
With me?
Yeah. Who did you side with?
With
the boys? With you?
With me. No.
Come on.
When I was, let's see, by the time I was 7 years old, my oldest sister was already out of the house. She went off to school in a private school in Pennsylvania where my parents had met. So, like, the whole family, while I was still young, all the older kids were out of school already, they went out there by the time they were sophomores in high school or whatever.
Okay. So you're basically an only child.
Somewhat. But like we're all close, but they were out of the house at a young age. So who do I side with again?
You.
Me.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever
was
advantageous to you. That's the way you went.
Whatever got me through. Yeah.
Okay. That's fair enough. Your sisters. How did they treat baby brother?
I mean, let's see. Are we being honest here? This is on TV. My family, we're good, close. We've got good relationships. All the kids have good relationships. I'm happy with my family. We've got.
That's so evasive.
It is. I'm trying to be political about this. I want to be able to go over to their houses and actually eat dinner the next time I try and not get shut out at the door. My sisters are like one's out in Oregon.
Okay, you're safe from her.
She got married to one of her old high school sweetheart or whatever.
Okay.
She traveled to the other side of the country, has a couple daughters, and she's really gotten into church out there. And like I guess she wasn't quite as Christian. I don't want to say that, but she got into a church that's really moved her and really caught her attention out there, and and I love that. Like everyone in my family, well, I have good brothers and sisters. I've got a good family.
Let me rephrase the question then.
All right, then. You're going
All
to try to
right.
get an answer one way or another.
I'm going to get this answer. Okay. Who made you their favorite? Oh, no, they all treated me exactly the same.
I mean, I don't know if I wouldn't say I ranked as. I don't know. Am I a favorite for anybody? All of them thought I was the favorite. We'll go with that answer. They all love me.
Real good, Ken.
No.
Very good.
Me and my brother Steve, the editor for this, are the closest in age. He's a year and a half older.
Okay.
So we probably have the closest, I probably have the closest relationship with him. And he's got 2 little boys that are 15 minutes away from me, so I get to go teach them how to snowboard and skateboard and rollerblade. So we've got a very tight relationship. But again, all of my brothers and sisters, we really are supportive of each other, and we're good. Like, we don't have arguments and stuff that I know of. I mean, they might say something behind my back,
but you don't know about it.
To my face, they're all sweet. So
I want to, again, remind you that you can go to BibleRhymes.com and visit the website. You can have interactive books, games, all kinds of interesting things. The membership hasn't started up again, but it will be $15 for a year. And you will definitely enjoy what Ken has done. Your kids will enjoy it. Your teenagers will enjoy it. And I guarantee you will enjoy it as well. Ken, thanks for joining me again. I appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, and thank you for having me.
Oh, always. We're still looking at a wife for Ken. So, I mean, he's really cute, ladies. You want to take care of that.
And get ready. I will be back, right?
Definitely.
Because I've got 4 more books about to come
Definitely.
out. So we'll be back soon and have more conversations and a bigger screen so we can all play games.
That will be fantastic, but we'll have to talk eventually because that's what it's about. Thanks for joining me today on Today's Christian Woman. We invite you to tune in to the next episode and go to Bible Rhymes. You're going to love it. Until we meet again, may God bless you and keep living saved.